Hello, my name is Tamara Thomas. This graduate research project has been prepared for Dr. Sanchez's Leadership and Team Development course at Amberton University. This presentation will assess a leadership style theory as it relates to team development. Here's the outline. I will present a synopsis of the 21st century workforce, along with a description of leadership and various styles, followed by the statement of my hypothesis. Next, I'll describe the framework of transformational leadership, present findings of literature, and offer suggestions and recommendations for future research. Increased globalization, changing cultural values, technological changes at a fast pace, a diverse workforce, and concern for sustainability and social responsibility as business outcomes are all factors that influence and shape the 21st century workforce. Demographically, the 21st century workforce is comprised of 5 generations: traditionalists, born prior to 1946, baby boomers, born between 1946 and 1964, Generation X, born between 1965 and 1976, millennials, born between 1977 and 1997, and Generation 2020, whom were born after 1997. According to Pew Research Center's 2015 analysis of data from the U.S. Census Bureau, millennials at 34% are the largest demographic. Characteristically, millennials desire more from work than a paycheck. Instead of money, emphasis is placed on meaning, purpose, and growth. Secondly, millennials want coaches instead of bosses, which requires mentorship and not direct command and control leadership. Because of texting and social media, millennials are used to continuous, real-time communication. This may require leaders to adjust methods and frequency of feedback. Again, millennials want to know their strengths and contributions are valued. Lastly, work-life balance is essential for millennials. Thus, an ideal work week focuses on the quality, not quantity of hours worked, and includes flexible scheduling and location of work. Considering this description of the 21st century workforce, what leadership style is best? There are numerous definitions for leadership, which illustrates its complexity. Drawin defines leadership as the ability to influence a group toward the achievement of goals. Additionally, leadership is an earned title, and the bearer must have professional conviction, personal commitment, enthusiasm, the ability to measure and control, be a positive catalyst, and able to maintain momentum. Hughes, Gannett, and Curfey quoted Napoleon when defining leadership. Men are nothing. It is the man who is everything. This phrase simply means the strength of an army is not as important as the abilities of the commander. Sei Lau and Tai Ching Tao define a leader as one whom gets things done with very little motion. He gives instructions through deeds using few words. He is informed about everything but hardly interferes. Although he is influential to success, he takes no credit when things are done well. Therefore, credit never leaves him. Lastly, one of the greatest military leaders of the world, Alexander the Great, was tutored by Aristotle, who taught him a good leader must have ethos, pathos, and logos. Ethos is his moral character and the source of his ability to inspire. Pathos is his ability to move people emotionally, and logos is his ability to give solid reasons for his actions. This moves people intellectually. Nordhaus highlights 4 leadership themes. Leadership is a process. Leadership involves influence. Leadership occurs in a group context, and leadership involves goal attainment. Leadership touches on personal, social, and organizational processes and depends on a process of influence that inspires people to work towards a goal. Now that a basic understanding of leadership has been established, let's explore a few approaches to leadership. Situational leadership is the belief that different situations require different kinds of leadership. Therefore, an effective leader can adapt his style to match the situation. Situational leadership has 2 dimensions: directive and supportive. Directive behaviors include establishing goals, setting timelines, and creating evaluation methods to help group members accomplish goals. Supportive behaviors include asking for input, solving problems, praising, and listening, which help group members feel comfortable about workplace aspects. There are 4 categories of situational leadership: directing, coaching, supportive, and delegating. Situational leadership is prescriptive. In other words, it tells one what to do or not do in various contexts. Transactional leadership is driven by control. Transactional leadership is also based on reciprocity and is not concerned with change for follower development. Instead, it focuses on maintaining day-to-day operations. There are 2 factors of transactional leadership: contingent reward and management by exception. Contingent reward refers to the exchange of follower effort with a specific reward or payoff. If you do this, then I'll make sure you receive, is an example of what a transactional leader may say. Management by exception is characterized as negative feedback and negative reinforcement. Examples include a leader who closely monitors his followers, focusing on violations of rules and mistakes, and a leader whom is only involved after problems occur. Servant leadership is based on the premise that one's desire to serve causes one to emerge as a leader. Servant leadership includes a social responsibility to the underprivileged. Characteristically, a servant leader listens, shows empathy, has keen awareness, is committed to the growth of people, and positively and ethically facilitates change. Altruism is a notable strength of servant leadership, as this theory is founded on unselfish concern for the well-being of others. Even so, the hypothesis of this research project is transformational leadership positively influences team performance, facilitates team development, and is the best leadership style for the 21st century workforce, which will be substantiated by a qualitative literature review of leadership styles and theories. In his 1978 work titled Leadership, James McGregor Burns examined the connection between the roles of leadership and followership, which led to the introduction of the transformational leadership concept. Transformational leadership is the process of engaging the hearts and minds of followers by assessing motives, satisfying needs, and treating followers as human beings, not assets. Because transformational leadership is concerned with emotions, values, standards, and long term goals, and is driven by trust and facilitation, follower motivation is increased, and they often do more than what is expected. Moreover, transformational leadership forms mutual support for a common purpose and raises the leaders' and followers' level of morality. It is important to note transformational leadership is not associated with negative change. Leaders that are inspirational, yet power oriented, oppressive, and have distorted moral values exhibit pseudo transformational leadership. Instead of focusing on the collective good, a pseudo transformational leader focuses on his own interests. Adolf Hitler is an example of a pseudo transformational leader. There are four components of the transformational leadership. The first is idealized influence, which is the leader's ability to be a positive role model whom exhibits high ethical standards and moral conduct. Idealized influence engenders follower admiration, respect, and trust because the leader walks the talk and is highly involved in goal accomplishment. Inspirational motivation, the second component, is the ability to move followers to action by providing meaning and challenge, which cultivates camaraderie as followers' goals are aligned with the organization's. Clear communication of the leader's expectations promotes a strong commitment to goals. The third factor is intellectual stimulation, which encourages critical thinking and problem solving. Followers are entreated to be creative, innovative, and discover new ways to approach old situations. Mistakes are addressed, but never publicly in a humiliating fashion. The ability to connect, being in tune with the needs of, and pull out the strengths of followers describe individualized consideration, the fourth factor. Individualized consideration also refers to effectively gauging the degree of attention each follower needs for achievement. This creates a supportive environment where the leader serves as a mentor and coach. These four factors are assessed through use of the multi-factor leadership questionnaire, which was first developed by Bernard M. Bass, in 1985. In summary, transformational leadership is a process that uses influence and concern for follower development to bring about the change necessary for higher level accomplishments. Its team-oriented nature complements a workforce seeking inspiration and empowerment and is beneficial to organizations that rely on collaboration and teamwork to accomplish tasks and be successful. Researchers Brevard, Bakker, Demoraldi, Slebos, and Maduro investigated the underlying elements in the relationship between transformational leadership, follower work engagement, and follower job performance. Specifically, these elements are job resources, need fulfillment, work engagement, enroll performance, and the need for leadership. This study has 6 mediating hypotheses. First, transformational leadership is positively related to follower job resources. Secondly, Follower job resources are positively related to follower basic need fulfillment. Third, follower basic need fulfillment is positively related to follower work engagement. Fourth, follower work engagement is positively related to leader ratings of follower enrolled task performance. As you can see, these hypotheses are sequential. Therefore, emphasis will be given to the fifth hypothesis, which states transformational leadership is positively related to leader ratings of follower enroll performance through follower job resources, follower basic need fulfillment, and follower work engagement. The sixth and final hypothesis is the relationship between transformational leadership and follower need fulfillment is stronger for followers with high need for leadership. "162 Dutch dyads, comprised of one leader and one follower, served as the study sample. Demographically, the leader sample had a mean age of 44 and was 45% female and 55% male. The follower sample had a mean age of 38 and was 70% female and 30% male. Each participant was given a self-administered questionnaire made up of 72 items, which measured transformational leadership using varying point scale ranges. Data analysis revealed transformational leadership's ability to optimize the work environment, placate follower basic needs, and increase engagement. Thus, all hypotheses were supported, and transformational leadership's positive influence on follower task performance was corroborated. The significance of this study is its treatment of followers as active, not passive recipients of leadership. A limitation of this study is its cross-sectional design, which allows data from multiple variables to be collected at once, but does not establish a direct cause and effect relationship. Achievement goals shape motivational experiences, employee interpersonal behavior, and performance attainment, all of which impact organizational functions. In 2013, Hamstra, Van Puren, Weisse, and Sossenberg investigated the correlation between leadership style and follower achievement goal based on the belief that social aspects of the work environment could predict the specific goals followers chose to pursue. The first hypothesis is that transformational leadership is positively related to followers' endorsement of mastery goals. For this study, mastery goals are defined as aims to learn, develop, and excel in job relevant skills. The second hypothesis is that transactional leadership is positively related to followers' endorsement of performance goals. Performance goals are the individual standard of competence, which is defined by how well one performs in comparison to others. 449 followers of 120 leaders from various organizations in the Netherlands served as participants. The mean age of participants was 33, and the leader's tenure mean was 6.4 years. The retail and distribution industry had the greatest representation, followed by healthcare, education, and finance. Participants received a questionnaire, which was completed on the spot or at home, then returned to research assistants. Participant anonymity and supervisor inability to review responses was ensured. The Dutch version of the multi-factor leadership questionnaire was used to assess transformational leadership, with emphasis placed on intellectual development, common team mission, and focusing on individual needs and abilities. Transactional leadership, which focused on achievement related rewards, and follower mastery goals. Analysis revealed leadership style influences and predicts which achievement goals followers pursue. Specifically, transformational leadership positively relates to followers adopting mastery goals, and transactional leadership promotes the pursuit of performance goals. The significance of this study is that it was the first to consider leadership as a social variable of follower goal choice. Followers' achievement goals may have been affected by their perception of leadership styles, and the study's cross sectional design did not consider inferences about the link between leadership style and follower achievement goals. These were the study's limitations. The next study probed transformational leadership's effect on subordinates' willingness to voluntarily put forth extra effort. Researchers hypothesized that subordinates under transformational leadership put in more extra effort in comparison to those under transactional leadership, and that transformational leaders are found more frequently at higher levels than at lower levels. Transformational leaders at the higher hierarchical level are rated higher than those at the lower hierarchical level, and the effect of transformational leaders at higher levels is stronger than the effect of lower level leaders. Two studies were conducted. For both, the Swiss Armed Forces militia system served as the sample source. Study 1 examined the characteristics and benefits associated with outstanding leadership over an 18-month period. 201 military personnel completed the German version of the multi-factor leadership questionnaire, which also included a section where participants rated their own voluntary willingness to overperform. Results from data analysis fully supported hypothesis 3A, partially supported hypothesis 3B, and rejected hypothesis 3C. Subordinates showed more extra effort for leaders at lower levels. Study 2 investigated the leadership style and measures of success of platoon leaders. Platoon leaders, on average, command 10 to 20 soldiers. Study 2 followed the exact design of Study 1. 617 questionnaires completed by the subordinates of 51 platoon leaders were included in the study. A hierarchical regression analysis assessed the impact of different leadership styles on subordinates' extra effort. Results indicated transformational leadership significantly increases extra effort, which validates hypothesis 1 of the study, as well as the hypothesis for this research project. Limitations of this study are its small sample size and the fact that all variables were measured by the view of the subordinates, which creates single source bias. There is a vast amount of research regarding transformational leadership benefiting followers. But does transformational leadership contribute to the leader's own development? In an effort to answer this question, researchers Lanage, Johnson, and Lee conducted a study on leadership with a daily approach that integrated the affective events theory and the self-determination theory. The effective events theory recognizes the connection between job performance, job satisfaction, emotions, and moods. The self determination theory states autonomy, competence, and relatedness are the psychological needs crucial for human functioning. Researchers hypothesize that within individuals, performance of behaviors reflective of transformational leadership will be associated with an increase in positive effect and a decrease in negative effect. 55 managerial employees enrolled in an executive MBA course participated in the study. Participants held positions such as director, senior manager, senior analyst, and product manager. They worked an average of 49.6 hours per week, and their average organizational tenure was 6.7 years. Data collection occurred over a 4-week period and included an initial one-time survey and a series of daily surveys. Daily surveys were collected twice a day for 15 consecutive work days. State effect was assessed by the morning survey. The afternoon survey assessed leader behaviors and state effect. The effect survey used a 5-point scale to rate 4 items, which captured how they felt at the moment. The leader behavior survey used a 6-point scale to rate 4 items, which measured behaviors reflective of transformational leadership. I communicated a desirable goal or vision to a work group member is an example item for the leadership behavior survey. Analysis of the collected surveys found that behaviors reflective of transformational leadership were associated with an increase in leaders' positive effect and a decrease in their negative effect. The hypotheses were supported. In other words, there is value in making a concerted effort to express enthusiasm and confidence, to model cooperation, to use expressive and inclusive language, and to show empathy. Each of these acts fulfills leaders' psychological needs. Furthermore, the results affirm transformational leadership's ability to raise leader motivation and morality. In regards to limitations, this study focused on effective outcomes only and did not assess downstream behavioral consequences. Lastly, usage of a 4-item measure may not have captured fundamental properties of transformational leadership. Based on the limitations of the reviewed studies, the following recommendations for future research are offered. Further research should examine the relationship between leadership styles and follower goals in order to establish leadership as a social variable related to achievement goals. Secondly, several studies chose to use a cross-sectional study design. Future research should use a longitudinal or experimental design to establish causality and yield better results. Next, attention should be given to how transformational leadership meets leader needs, influences leader well being, and contributes to leader development. And finally, future research should investigate the augmentation effect, which refers to building transformational leadership on a transactional base. In conclusion, 21st century organizations face market pressures and uncertainties that require leaders to move beyond transactional thinking. In the 21st century, the workforce desires purpose, growth, development, mentorship, and appreciation over money. 21st century leaders must model the way, inspire a shared vision, be willing to innovate, grow, and improve, enable others to act, and be a source of encouragement. The literature presented demonstrated transformational leadership's ability to satisfy follower needs, optimize work environments, and improve organizational performance, which makes it the best style for the 21st century workforce. This concludes my presentation.